Most people hear the phrase inner child and immediately want to roll their eyes. It sounds like something from a cheesy self help book or something you only talk about if you've experienced extreme trauma. But I want to offer you a different perspective today. Your inner child isn't a ghost and it isn't a memory. It's a very real, very active part of your physical brain. It's the limbic system. It's the part of you that feels before it thinks. It's the part of you that still gets that tight feeling in your chest when someone sounds disappointed in you, or that hollow feeling when you think you've made a mistake. When we talk about reconnecting, we aren't talking about going back in time. We are talking about acknowledging the version of yourself that's still living under the surface, trying to protect you with the only tools a 6-year-old has. I want to talk about how we stop ignoring that part of us and to start actually building a relationship with it. Think about how much energy you spend every day pretending to have it all together. We've built these incredible adult structures like we have the mortgage, the career, the composed face at the grocery store, but inside, most of us feel like we are just kids pretending to be grown ups. The reason why we feel so disconnected is because we've spent years shaming the child within us. When you feel needy, you tell yourself to grow up. When you feel scared, you tell yourself to get it together. We treat our inner child like a nuisance and a messy emotional distraction that's getting in the way of our productivity. But here's the problem: that messy part of you is also the part that holds your creativity, your joy, and your ability to truly connect with others. When we exile the child to the basement because they're too loud or too sad, we also exile the ability to feel fully alive. We become this high functioning shell. Reconnecting starts when we stop trying to fix our emotions and start trying to witness them. We have to ask ourselves, why did we disconnect in the first place? Because it wasn't an accident. At some point, being childlike became dangerous. Maybe you had to grow up fast because your parents couldn't handle their own lives, or maybe you were bullied for being too sensitive. You created a protector part of your personality, something like the perfectionist, the achiever, or the stoic. Basically, this part stepped in and said, I'll take over from here. I'll make us so successful so no one can hurt us again. The protector part locked away your inner child to keep them safe. So when you try to reconnect, you might feel a lot of resistance. You might feel bored. You might feel angry. You might feel like this is stupid. That's just your protector self doing its job. To get to the child, you have to thank the protector self for keeping you alive this long. You have to tell that part of yourself that it can take a break now. You are an adult and you are taking over the watch. We also have to realize the inner child doesn't speak English, it speaks sensations. It doesn't live in your thoughts, it lives in your nervous system. This is why you can't just think your way into healing. When you feel that sudden wave of not being enough or a frantic need to people please, that is a cellular memory. Your body is replaying a scene from 20 years ago. Reconnecting means learning to stay in your body when those sensations arrive. Instead of running to your phone or a glass of wine to numb the feeling, sit with it. By doing so, you're showing that younger version of you that you aren't going to abandon them just because they are feeling something uncomfortable. You are becoming a safe container for your own history. So, how do we actually do this? The funny thing is, you don't need a meditation retreat. It happens in the small, boring moments of your day, like when you're triggered. The next time you feel that surge of anxiety or that hot flash of shame, I want you to pause and ask yourself these two questions. First, what do I feel right now? You might be surprised the answer isn't always 35, 45, 40, 25, 50, or maybe even 60. You might realize you feel like you're 8 years old again, standing in the principal's office. Second, what did I need back then that I didn't get? Maybe you needed to be told that it wasn't your fault. Maybe you needed someone to just sit with you while you cried. Or maybe you needed to know that you are still loved, even if you failed. In that moment, you have a choice. You can become the critical parent that tells that 80-year-old to shut up, or you can become the adult that you actually needed back then. This is called reparenting. It's the act of providing for yourself the emotional safety that was missing in the past. You aren't changing the past, you are changing how the past lives in your body. The final part is the hardest for most of us, which is play. As adults, we've been conditioned to believe that if something isn't productive, it's a waste of time. But play is the language of the inner child. When was the last time you did something just because it felt good? Not because it was a workout, not because it was a networking opportunity or a skill that you are learning. Just play. For some, it's coloring. For others, it's dancing in the kitchen or getting your hands in the dirt. When you allow yourself to be unproductive and joyful, you're telling your inner child it's safe to come out now, that they don't have to be a human being to be worth of your time. This is how we expand our window of tolerance. You're teaching your nervous system that safety isn't just the absence of a threat, it's the presence of connection. Connection to the world, and most importantly, connection to yourself. Now, this isn't a one time conversation, it's a lifelong relationship. There will be days whereby you forget and you go back to being that harsh critic. That's okay. The inner child is patient and they've been waiting for you for a very long time.